All right, all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Campus Connection. Woot, 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 woot. And look who has finally decided to join us. Look at that.
Yo, people, I'm back. I am back. We're here for yet another amazing time on Campus
Hi.
Connection. Yeah, hi. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Hi, I'm Anesta. What's your name? Have we met?
I am Jonathan. I am Jonathan. Well,
Okay.
hopefully, mate. Have the gall. But yeah, wow, such a good feeling to be back here for yet another episode of Campus Connection. Today is a little spicy episode, a little,
Yeah.
yeah. I went through
Apparently,
this.
young people love this topic. So we're dealing with nomad
Yeah,
relationships.
yeah, a
Yeah.
little, yeah. And Love 101, we're celebrating, 32 years come this Friday.
Whoop,
That
whoop.
is going to be something amazing. But, as usual, Campus Connection is brought to you by Heart NSTA Trust. Skill is power.
Power.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
Okay, where are the campus nights? Students are step up in a prize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So welcome
You're
back
right.
to Campus Connection. We are looking forward to an exciting show today. In case you just joined us, don't worry, you haven't missed anything. We are just about to go into our education news and bulletin. But before we do that, we want to invite you to hop onto our live stream. We're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, we're live on TikTok at Love 101 FM Jamaica. And we want to know from you, what is the right age for young people to start thinking about being in a quote unquote serious relationship with the opposite gender? Because that's the only type of relationship we're gonna talk about.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so
Put
what
those
do
in
you
the
think
back.
is an appropriate age? We want to hear from you, and I would definitely love to hear from Jonathan as we go into our discussion segment. So we're going to tune in now to education news and bulletin, and right after that we'll have our I Chose Christ feature. Stay with us.
Education News and Bulletin for today, Tuesday, February 11, 2025. So much grief in 1 year. Executive members of the National Secondary Students Council, NSSC, have argued that incidents of violence against children, road traffic fatalities, and bomb threats at schools made 2024 a daunting year for the nation's children. In addition to multiple bomb threats, 2024 saw students being injured and other cases of fatalities resulting from motor vehicle collisions, gun violence, and attacks on each other. According to the Island Traffic Authority, 118 children between the ages of 0 and 19 died in motor vehicle collisions. The Ministry of Education has over the years provided counseling support to families of children involved in violent attacks, as well as students and the school communities. Additionally, several initiatives geared towards reducing violence in schools have been implemented, including a safety and security policy, which outlines how to implement physical security measures, such as the searches of school bags, organizing training programs for school personnel to recognize warning signs and intervene effectively for students, parents, and the community. Government of Japan providing school buses for 3 institutions. Three schools in rural Jamaica have expressed gratitude to the Japanese embassy following the signing of grant agreements on Wednesday, February 5, to purchase much needed school buses. The funds, totaling $28.8 million, will facilitate the acquisition of two 29-seater buses and one 15-seater bus for the institutions under the Government of Japan's grassroots humanity security project. The beneficiaries are West Primary and Infant School, Bustamante High School in Clarendon, and Port Antonio Primary School in Portland, whose administrators expressed deep gratitude for the generous gift. Restorative justice training for students. More than 12,000 students have benefited from training in restorative justice practices under an initial 2-year memorandum of understanding established in May 2022 between the Ministry of Justice and the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information. A second MOU signed in February 2024 will facilitate continuation of this exercise until April 2026. The training's implementation is being spearheaded by the Restorative Justice Branch in the Justice Ministry's Social Justice Division. Restorative justice aims to resolve conflicts by having all parties involved come together to reach an agreement and decide on a plan to repair any harm caused. These services can be provided at the community level, in schools, and in workplaces. For more information on how to access these services or apply to become a restorative justice facilitator, the Ministry of Education's toll-free line is 888-JUSTICE. That's 888-587-8423, or visit their website at www.moj.gov.jm. And now for the bulletin. Global Power and Intercession Ministry presents Power Power 2.0, 7 weeks of power for the Ministry of Education and our nation schools, running from Monday, January 13th to Saturday, March 1st, 2025, with main speaker Pastor Abrahams. Join us at the Hands of Elohim Ministry, the Kingdom Center, shop number 4, Spanish Town Mall, Spanish Town, St. Catherine, or you can join us via Zoom. For more information, call 876-328-1570 or send an email to calledtopray24@gmail.com. Passion and Purity presents Love Week 2025 from February 9 to 16 under the theme Running the Race of Life with Love, with special devotions and a Marriage is Honorable e-connection on Saturday, February 15, plus an all-week Love Connection Challenge. Join via Zoom with ID 865-4223-085, and the passcode is LOVE in all caps. Follow Passion and Purity on all social media platforms at Passion and Purity JA. St. Catherine High School ISCF Week 2025 will be from Sunday, March 16th to Saturday, March 22, 2025. Their annual health fair is Friday, March 21 at 8 p.m. to 4 p.m. under the theme Walking in 4D Health. That was your education news and bulletin for Campus Connection, Tuesday, February 11, 2025. I am Eden Palmer. Please stick and stay with us right here on the family station, Love 101.
All right. Just a correction there. The St. Catherine High School's annual health fair is actually Friday, March 21 from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And the theme, of course, will be Walking in 4D Health. So please bear that in mind as you attend. Big up St. Catherine. I believe that's our producer's alma mater. No, it's not him alma mater. that's his school. St. Catherine is his school. So big up St. Catherine as always.
Yes. And February is celebrated as Black History Month. Today we look at Robert Sutherland, a native Jamaican who is the first known graduate of color at a Canadian university and first Black man to study law in British North America. He's a native of Jamaica, was first known, of course, as the first graduate at a Canadian university. He studied at the Osgood Law School and practiced law for 20 years in Ontario. Upon his death in 1878, Sutherland left a large estate of $12,000 to Queen's University, roughly equivalent to the institution's annual operating budget. So this donation was the largest, of course, donation the school has ever received, saving it from financial catastrophe in a banking crisis. That, of course, was our Black History Month feature for this week. Join us next week as we feature Jamaican entrepreneur David Mullings, founder and CEO of Bloomaho Capital Partners.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, nice indeed. Yeah, so it's about time now for our I Choose Christ feature. This will be done by Rihanna Williams from St. Jago High School.
Good day, everyone. My name is Rihanna Williams, a student of the St. Jago High School's Lower Six. Today, I will be sharing a part of my story of how God transformed my life. Now, when I was younger, I used to experience a lot of insecurities. I would look at myself in the mirror every day and not be happy with what I see because I wanted to be like other people. I didn't like my hair, I didn't like my body. I found fault in everything that I did, right? And over time, as I grew older, it wouldn't change. It would be the same thing, especially comparing myself to people on social media, seeing their curves and everything, which I now know that is just illusions and gimmicks. But when I was younger, I used to struggle with insecurity and self confidence a lot because when I looked in the mirror, I didn't like what I saw. And I tried to change myself so many times, whether it's with my personality, with my looks, trying to look like other people, trying to be like other people. And because of that, I even found myself in company that you wouldn't call God fearing. But over time, when I was introduced to the love of God, my life took a complete 360. Now I see myself in God's light, the best light that it could ever be in. When I look in the mirror, I see God's daughter. When I look in the mirror now, I see a purpose-filled young woman. When I look in the mirror, I smile because I know that this image that I'm staring back at has something great ahead. And with God's word that says He is within me, therefore I will not fall or fail. It helps me to remember that I can do all things with Him. And it's not just about the physical appearance because He made me in His image, right? So I should find no fault because if I am made in His image, then I am perfect inside and out. And over the years, with God's love, with His peace that He has granted me, I have come to love myself and I've come to see myself the way that God sees me. So, all I have to say is that being introduced to the love of God, it's like a benefit because not only when you're introduced to the love of God, it comes with other things. It comes with His joy, it comes with His peace, it comes with His strength, it comes with His forgiveness. Everything comes in like a package deal, and I am so glad that I could experience God's love in that way. He introduced Himself to me as a father, as a friend, and I am grateful to this day that I get to live each and every day by and by to see myself as His daughter, as His child. And I just want to encourage somebody out there that you are perfect just the way you are. You are made in His image, beautifully, fearfully, and wonderfully made. And there's nothing that you need to change because if God knew that there is something wrong with you, He would change it from the beginning. And God knows us and loves us for our faults. And that's one thing that I realized over time. When God opens your eyes to see yourself as He sees you through His lens, that is one of the best things that could ever happen. So if you struggle with insecurity, then pray to God about it and ask Him to help you to see yourself through His eyes. I chose God, so you should too.
Thank you so much to Rihanna Williams of the St. Jago High School for reminding us of the fact that God can transform you. He can change your mind and even your perspective on yourself. We do apologize for the distracting background noise that you were hearing, but we certainly could not pass up that powerful testimony. So we're going now to a quick break, and when we return, more Campus Connection. Stay with us.
Okay, where are the campus nights? Students are strap up in a pride. We are.
Love is in the air with Flow this Valentine's. Get connected with Yard and Road. You put something extra in your cart. Sign up for Yard and Road for only $6,300 plus GCT and get a supermarket card valued at $15,000. Perfect for stocking up on ingredients to make a romantic dinner or getting sweet treats for your suite. Don't miss out. Offer ends February 16, 2025. Follow your heart to a Flow store today or visit discoverflow.co. Conditions apply.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
Okay, where are the campus nights? Students are strap up in a pride. We are.
Yes, yes. Welcome back to Campus Connection. If you are just joining us, today's topic is quite an interesting one. A little bit on the edge, if you ask me. Love and relationships. Fitting, of course, because Valentine's Day is coming up. Earlier, we asked a question and want you to answer us. And I think we're going to share our thoughts as well concerning this. The question, very simply put, what is the right age for young people to start thinking about being in a serious, and those sorry, that word is in quotations,
Yeah.
serious, relationship with the opposite gender? Yes, I know Anessa will
So
answer that question for us. For both
I
of us, she will answer for both of us.
Oh,
Go
no,
ahead.
no, 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 no. We definitely have to hear your take on this question, Jonathan. Don't even try. Don't even try.
Tell people what you think.
So here's what I think. I think it's not so much an age thing as
Mm,
it is a maturity thing, right? So you want to know yourself, you want to be self-aware, you want to know what your preferences are, what your ambitions are, know yourself, and what even just what you like. And also you want to make sure that you know how to treat other people.
mm,
Because a lot of times persons want to be in a relationship for what they can get and not so much just being wanting to share an experience with someone. So it
mhm,
definitely comes down to just a maturity level, um,
mm.
and knowing that I don't know about the serious one. I know that
That,
it's,
yeah,
yeah, the
yeah.
serious being in quotation, it kind of throws me off. I feel
It's
like,
relative. It's
yeah,
relative.
it's
That's
relative.
what I think. That's
But
what
I
I
know it
think.
definitely comes down to just your maturity level, because you might be 25, you might be 30
Still
and
not
still
ready.
not ready.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
anyways, what are your thoughts?
So I'm going to answer it from this vantage point,
Okay.
because the truth is, I do believe that age has something to do with it.
Okay.
Because my 9 year, my 10-year-old niece could never come to me and tell me that she's
Oh
in a serious
no.
relationship. Never. Danny, if you're listening to this, I am dead serious. Anyway, um,
I bet you are.
never. But you see, the truth is serious as well. That's throwing me off as well, because I'm of the view that nobody should pursue a serious relationship, and that's man and woman, until they are ready. Um, and ready as well is relative. So I don't think there's any
Hard and
one
fast.
right
Yeah.
answer,
And then
right, for this.
the thing too is that you are, before you get like serious, you have to start light. Like you have to be
Yeah,
friends with
ease
this
yourself.
person,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because you
Mm-hmm.
can't just look at somebody and say, okay, I'm going to get serious with you. Like, you have
Yeah,
to get to know this person. And that does start out just being casual friends.
absolutely. And a major part of it, when I think about it even more, is that, and I stand by this, for men especially, if you are not able to take care of a woman, don't even think about bringing up marriage or anything like that to that woman. And that's my personal opinion. And take care doesn't necessarily mean that you are, you know, paying for hair, nails, and all those things every other week. Take care in the sense of making sure that, this lady is good. So as I said, there are so many factors, so many
Yeah.
variables. Nothing is like hard and fast, except for the fact that, it's one man to one woman without apology. And you, of course, would have God at the head of it, right? The views
Right.
expressed here
Those are
are
definitely
not
some givens.
necessarily, yeah. Yeah,
Definitely
man.
some givens. And I think even when I was mentioning just being self-aware, that's a big part of it too. Having a relationship with God, because without knowing Christ, you don't know, you can't know who you are. You can't
Mm-hmm,
know why
mm-hmm.
you're here. You can't know where you're headed. You don't know anything about yourself. And so a part of being self-aware is definitely just knowing Christ.
Absolutely.
That's those are my two cents.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So I guess we can go into the conversation, joined
Bring
by
on some
our
professionals.
awesome, awesome guest. With us this evening, we have Mr. Ronaldo Rust. Um, Wait, if I remember correctly, Ronaldo actually got married to his high school sweetheart, I believe. So
That's
that
true.
should bring another perspective to the conversation. Ronaldo, I saw you go. Wait, all right, I guess when he's
Him still
situated, he'll be
getting,
able
yeah.
to.
Yes, yes,
That's
it
why I go,
is
don't.
true.
Uh,
Indeed, indeed. I did get married to my high school sweetheart, and yeah, we're still married and we're still happy.
Hey, all right, we're going to
Praise
get into that a
God.
bit more later on in the conversation. We also have Mrs. Kimoy Callum from the Passion and
Hi.
Purity. Yeah,
Hi.
man, big up yourself, Kimoy. And we also have Mr. Shamario Dunn, architecture student of the University of Technology, Jamaica.
Woot,
Lady,
woot.
gentlemen, welcome to Campus Connection, the love and relationship edition.
It's
It's
about to
about
go
to be,
down.
yeah. So I think it's appropriate. I think it's only fair that you guys answer the question as well that we are asking
Mhm.
our listeners and viewers. What the right age, for a serious relationship, for a young man, a young woman to say, hey, I'm ready for a serious relationship. I'm going to allow Ronaldo to go last
Okay.
because of his situation. Yeah. But Kimoy,
All
what's
right.
it?
So, yeah, for me, I would agree with Anesta. It's not so much a age thing, it's about where you are, your consciousness as it relates to God, and
Mhm.
yourself, right? You have to find yourself in Christ first. That is of utmost importance, right? But what I don't necessarily agree with is that, you don't always have to go through an extensive period of getting to know the person. Because when I look at stories like, for example, Isaac and Rebecca, they just went and found her and brought her to
Wait,
him.
hold on, Kimai. Hold on, Kimai. Hold on. So you are saying,
She just went right in, huh?
um, young man meets girl today.
Yeah.
Young man is impressed with girl. Young man can go right into getting to know. Well, not necessarily getting to know girl, but getting into a serious relationship with girl. That's what you're saying.
Not just that. What's important is that God said, because it is God who was leading them, right? Remember, the
Mm,
servants had prayed. It's all up. That's how we say you have to find yourself and God first, so you can
Mm.
hear God and what He's saying as it pertains to other people in your life. So sometimes I've seen marriages where they didn't do a long period of dating and getting to know each other, and their marriages are solid, right? People, countless testimonies So it doesn't have to be a long period of dating, but it's definitely finding yourself in God. Yeah.
All right. All right. Shamario.
Afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Am I being heard clearly?
Yeah, man, hearing you.
The thing is, I mean, Miss Callum actually hit the nail on the head, you know. If I may say. Because really and truly, as Anessa would have previously said, I wouldn't, and that's in my opinion, of course, it's age limit is actually relative in a sense, because it actually has to do with maturity, understand, and also experience. It also, in my opinion, I also believe that, you know, once you are mature in a certain aspect in terms of education, mentally, psychologically, all these factors take into play. So it's not a definitive time span. Um, so as you rightfully said, in terms of having just a boy meets girl, and so you have to go through a process first. In the sense of courting, because it's natural for any male to be attracted, you understand, to the opposite sex, as well as because that's how Lord made it. But in my opinion, there's no definitive time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Ronaldo, your time to shine.
All right. Um, so for me, as you guys know from my last time, my wife and I, we started our relationship in high school, and well, we were in sixth form. So for all of those young people who think, well, I can start my relationship and marriage is coming soon, and I'm in seventh grade and I just start finding myself. I don't know about that one because the truth is, um, there are developmental stages that every person has to go through. And if you don't learn what you need to learn in certain developmental stages, you are going to be lacking in those lessons, and that is going to come around to affect you. Right? So it's important that we learn what we need to learn at the different stages, and we don't try to rush ahead of ourselves and pretend like we know it all and that we're older than we really are or mature more than we really are. We have to know where we are right now. What am I lacking right now that I need to learn? And what do I need to do to learn that? So at maybe like 13, 14, 15, thereabout, you're still trying to figure out who you are. And if you are trying to figure out who you are and you enter into a relationship, chances are, if that person is older than you, and I know for a lot of the girls, they don't really like males that are the same age. They want persons who are older and quote unquote more mature, right? And if that girl hasn't found herself or knows who she is, and she enters into a relationship with somebody who knows who he is, right, or knows what he wants, chances are she's going to end up taking on his standards and what he wants and not knowing what she wants, and it will cause her to be lost in that person's world, and her ability to exercise boundaries, right, and say, okay, you want that, but that's not what I stand for, is going to be very complicated for her because she doesn't know herself and what she stands for, right?
All
So
right.
it's
So hold
important
that
that the
point.
male knows.
I don't want
All
you.
right,
Hold on. I don't want you to forget it, but we have to take a break. You see the
no
conversation again.
problem.
The conversation
Wait.
getting heated already. But yeah, we're gonna have to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more Campus Connection.
The time by Grace Could Move is
6 o'clock.
the Jamaica Theological Seminary presents the Clive Affleck Memorial Lecture, Tuesday, February 18, beginning at 6 p.m. Here, speaker Dr. Carlton Turner discussed the hermeneutical practices that promote wholeness in African Caribbean contexts. Listen to the lecture on Love 101 FM's social media platforms at 6 p.m. and on Love 101 FM radio at 6:30 p.m. Join live at the Jamaica Theological Seminary, 8 and 14 to 16 West Avenue, Kingston. For more information, visit www.jts.edu.jm.
It's Love 101 FM's 32nd anniversary. And of course, Love 101, the family station, has been bringing you powerful word programs, interesting features, and beautiful music for 32 years. Youth Connection will be sharing with you some of the great songs through the years in our feature 32 Top Gospel Songs of All Time. I'm sure there are hundreds, but we'll try and find 32 as Love 101 celebrates its 32nd anniversary. Listeners pick 8 hymns, 8 Jamaican, 8 contemporary, 8 black gospel. Youth Connection will be sharing with you some of the great songs through the years in our feature 32 Top Gospel Songs of All Time. So join us Saturday, February 15.
We out there, where are the campus nights? Students are stuck up in a pride.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Campus Connection. It is certainly a heated discussion. It just started heating up. We're talking about love and relationships. Of course, it's February. We're a few days away from Valentine's Day, and we wanted to hear your thoughts on what is the right age for people to start thinking about being in a serious relationship. So if you haven't already done so, please hop onto our live stream. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at Love 101 FM Jamaica. We're also able to take your comments via WhatsApp at 876-997-3125. So we have with us Ronaldo Rust, Kimoy Callum, and Shamario Dunn. Just before the break, Ronaldo was, I believe, elaborating on just the dangers of not being self-aware. That's what it sounded like to me. You were just finishing up a point about that. Can you go ahead and continue for us, Ronaldo?
Yeah, man. So I was saying, if one party in the relationship is not at the place where they know themselves, what they stand for, what they like, what they don't like, then whatever the other party puts forward, they will accept it and they can lose themselves in that. They need to find themselves. And the beauty of a great relationship is when both parties knows themselves and can bring something special to the table. If I'm lost in your shadow and lost in what you want, then it's going to be two of us who are the same and no diversity, and there will be no beauty in the reality of our integration of our personalities and what we bring to the table and all of that. We don't want two same persons in the relationship. We want two different persons who presents a beauty in the harmony of personalities blending, so that we are bringing something fresh to the table. Where you are strong, I may be weak. Where I am strong, you may be weak. But at least we know this is what I stand for. And there are areas where I will not compromise because my belief systems and what I stand for may not integrate well with you. But we have to know, okay, is this something that we're willing to compromise on as we're entering the relationship? Are we willing to put this aside? Are we willing to make amends? But I must know who I am before I integrate with what you are bringing to the table, or else I'm going to be lost. And then I'm not going to know if we should divide, if we should separate, right? Then I'm going to wonder, who am I? All I've been doing is just submitting to everything that you have, but I have not been able to present anything concerning me, right? And that can be dangerous. So it's important that we allow ourselves to develop before we commit.
All right.
Love it.
Solid. So Kimoy, going back to you, because you have quite an interesting outlook, if you will, concerning the time frame, right? So the period in which man meets woman, man and woman deciding to, take this thing serious and go get married. question to you though, if you don't mind answering, at what age did you get married? And what was that experience? Well, as briefly as you can, what was that experience like for you? How did you know you were ready for this?
Okay, I got married about 6 years ago, and please pardon me, I tend to forget my age. I'm so sorry about that. So I'm here thinking, how old am I again? We're in the year 2025, so I'm 33 at this moment. So I got married around age 27, right?
Yeah.
And for me, for my eyes to be open to, the whole idea of getting married, I first God took me through a process of being contented with just him.
Mm.
Yeah, so I got to the point where I realized that okay, if I marry, that's good. If I don't marry, it's okay. So and I think when I got settled inside of that season is when God brought my husband into my life. But then I didn't even see or recognize that, I wasn't attracted to him physically. I never thought of him as a possibility or anything. But some months down the line, it's like all of a sudden this light bulb came on, and it's inside of dealing with him, just as a brother in Christ,
Mm.
yeah, that my eyes were open to that reality. And I just said, okay, Lord, I realized I was developing some sort of affections for him, even though I wasn't spending a lot of time with him personally and all of that. But there was something in my heart towards him,
Yes.
and I could not understand these affections because I didn't see any
Yeah.
natural reason to feel what I was feeling towards him. So when I started to pray about it, really and truly, this is what God was saying to me. This is who, I will have you to serve for the rest of your life, as a husband. And I'm like, okay, Lord, that's what you're saying. I had to, just submit to that. Not that I went in fighting or resisting that. It's just that I realized that that's God's plans for my life. And I just like, embrace that. And in embracing that, I saw that the same was coming from him too, where he realized that, hey, this is the woman that God would have for you. And we just said, okay, let's do this. And not that we got married immediately. There was a period of there was a period of about 6 months or so.
Mm.
Again, we didn't spend a lot of time together in the natural, but we certainly were, really encouraging each other in the faith. And of course, yeah, embracing those affections that we're having towards each other in a pure way, of course. Um, and we heard God clearly as to when to get married, to be honest. That's why I say it's important that, because as children of God, there's nothing that happens by chance in our life. God has a specific plan for us, and with that plan, there's a time and a way and all the things inside of it. So he showed us clearly, I want you two to get married. And on this day, literally, God gave us a date for the wedding and all the things. So yeah, that's my story.
Awful.
Yeah, that's my story.
I love it.
Awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's get back to the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're hosts. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, this
Right.
is nice. Listeners, this is
Love
nice.
it.
You know?
I
Yeah,
love
go
it.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking, you said something that I believe is so powerful. You said the Lord showed you that
Mhm.
this is the person you must serve for the rest of your life. Now, many people talk about toxic relationships. Many
Mhm.
people don't even see or believe that marriage is about servitude, or even relationships are about serving others. We see that aspect of relationships where we look at what's the benefit for me? What do I get out of this? And we don't understand that it comes back to serving another person. And this is not limited to intimate relationships, but relationships in general. So, Shamario, I would love your take on this. Like, how important is that whole concept of serving another person inside of relationships, whether they're serious relationships or just casual dating experiences? How important is that?
Thanks again. Thanks for having me again. Okay, so it's it's in serving. It's a very deep thing, really and truly. But in order to serve or to give yourself the service, first of all, you have to understand, the capacity and whatever it comes with. It's not just about serving in terms of, okay, all right, so this individual comes to me, she wants help, or this individual comes to me, he wants help. It's a case of understanding, empathy, putting yourself in the person's place, understand, recognizing, and it's also a sense of humbling yourself really and truly before Almighty God, truly. Because of a fact, as Kimoy said, the Lord will instruct us in our ways. And in terms of serving, giving yourself to someone, you have to understand that you're going to give up your time, you're going to give up your resources, you're going to give up several other things. And it's very, if I may say, when I look back even on the Bible, with Elizabeth and David, the context in which she got married to David, it was, she humbled herself. David was actually on the path to destroy the entire place because of one man, her husband. But she decided that, guess what? I can't allow you to do this. And eventually, after he died, she humbled herself and she came and she said in her own words, I will come and serve. It's a delicate thing. It's a very delicate thing, if I may say.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I feel like
Quite an
Ronaldo wants to
interesting.
say something.
Ronaldo, we'd like to be refreshed as well as relates
Ye-
to
yes.
the age that you got married. So if
So
you
I
can
I
share
got
that as well.
married. I got married at the age of 22,
Okay.
Mm.
right? Um, so at that time, I think the relationship was about what, 6 years old or so.
At that time, were you
Um,
thinking about serving your wife, like marrying your wife so you
yes,
could serve her?
actually, um, I so a lot of my development as a young teen growing up, going through adolescence was as a result of ISCF and ISCF camps and leadership conferences that are put on by ISCF. So it really cultivated in me that desire to serve. And it
Mm.
also flowed over into relationship, right? And I think around that time was when I started to think about love. And a lot of persons say, well, it's a strong feeling of affection, right? And I was like, that's not the love I see from a biblical standpoint, where it's all feelings and you just butterflies in your belly and all of these things, and you head over heels and you feel like you're gonna faint when the person passes you. I mean, that's right. I was there once, yeah, but when I look on what love is from a biblical standpoint from Corinthians, it seems as though it's the expression of God's character towards someone else, and
Mm-hmm.
it so the patience, rejoicing in the truth, not keeping the record of wrongs, which involves forgiveness, believing all things, hope all things, right, endure all things. This looks like expressing God's character towards someone else, and there's a lot of practicality to it, as well as being selfless in thinking about the other person and not just
Mhm.
about yourself. And the truth is, just like the gifts of the that Christ has given to the church, when you serve the other person and the other person serves you, both persons are served. So you
Mhm.
don't have to worry about, well, I wonder if they're going to reciprocate and all of that stuff. No, if both persons are at the place where they're saying, I'm going to serve you, and the other person says, I'm going to serve you, then both persons will get exactly what they need, and you don't have to worry about reciprocation. Yeah.
Mhm. Powerful, powerful. If
Yeah.
both persons are at the place, then both persons will be served. And just in case you're hearing the baby in the background, it's just the fruit of,
Marriage.
yeah, the marriage. So don't worry
Like
about
he
it.
said, they were happy. They're happily married.
Yes, still happy, still happy. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring Shamara in on the conversation as well as a campusite. Being on campus, what is it like being a young man on campus where sex and all of those things are around you? How you do you, keep pure and focused on not just your studies but on the Lord Jesus Christ? Something that I'd really want us to explore. But we're going to take a quick break and then we'll just jump right back into that after these messages.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
What are your financial goals? Consider who you are and where you want to be. Do you want to open your own business? Do you want to own a home? Invest in properties? Go back to school? Send your children to school? Then you have to save. But first, you have to have a budget. This financial literacy tip was brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy.
Okay, where are the campus nights? Students are step up in a pride to be
Welcome back. Welcome back to Campus Connection. We are having a good time. I would say we're having a good time. We're talking about love and relationships on this here Campus Connection show. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, we have some young, happily married. They're giving so much insight into relationships and how you can do it the godly way. That's what I love. I love the perspectives that are coming forth. And just before the break, Jonathan asked Shamaria a question in terms of how he handles, the whole concept of just remaining pure in such a culture that is so driven by lust and, even being on campus. I know it's not easy. If you're at school for an 8 o'clock class in the evening, then you'll probably hear music playing because it's time for a party or something else is going on. So how do you handle those pressures and still maintain that positive view of relationships?
Okay, I'd love to open by saying, first of all, the word of God is pure and it is strong. It is a guide for any person willing to give themselves to it, to be guided by it. And his words tell me that the Lord will keep me in perfect peace if I keep my mind on him. So the moment you on campus, you have to understand who you are. You understand where you're coming from, where you're going, who is with you, things like that. But most importantly, you're understanding that I keep my mind on him. Understand, you will see these things. You have to understand that we are not of the world, but we are in the world. So the Lord doesn't call us to isolate ourselves, but insulate ourselves. So yes, you'll be a part, you'll see what is happening around you. But just like for those of you who are, the listeners who may, have electrical experience, a 220 wire is coated inside insulation. It carries a certain amount of power. And even if you put it in water, understand, or it bounces anything, it still carries a level of amount of current because it's insulated. So what do you do on campus is that you clothe yourself in the word of God. You understand? As his word also declared that from whence can a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed to the word of God. Understanding that these are things that you will see on campus. You're going to see several different things. And you understand, several different things that can distract you. But understand that God is capable and able. So even with my studies and so on, there are times you also have to set yourself objective, know why you're here, what you're coming, what you came for, and when you're going to leave. Because it's it's easy for you to get caught up in everything that's going on. You understand? Some persons, as you rightfully say, 8 o'clock, and by 9 o'clock, sometimes you're not going until by 2 o'clock in the morning, you're hearing noise, and you say, "What? What's happening here?" You understand? But in terms of staying focused on campus, all I recommend, or what I would say for myself, is that you keep the Lord, ask the Lord, invite Him into your daily conversation, the things you do, the things you say. And if I may also add, is standards. There are a lot of persons tend to not value that word, standard. You replicate who you are, or you ever heard that statement that said birds of a feather flock together?
Mm-hmm.
So in a case like that, you also have to find a set of persons that will be able to, you know, mutually have that common goal, common, objective of why you're here. You understand? Because without that common set of system around you, you'll easily be lost. You'll easily be
Mm.
lost. But I can tell you it is possible because Jesus Christ is capable, and he has kept several other persons. A lot of they tend to have it to say that once you come to university, you're gonna lose your way. No, it doesn't have to be like that
Doesn't
because
have to be.
It
Christ
really
Christ is
doesn't.
in the book. It doesn't. It does.
Mhm.
There's several persons I know that has attended university. You understand? They have gotten grade eights. They have gotten a lot of high grades and everything, and they have not partaken a lot of what is happening. Mark, you're gonna see these things. Why? Because they're off the word. Things are gonna happen. But
Yeah,
guess what? Being light,
absolutely.
we have a responsibility to let our light so shine before men. That's why He Lord
Yeah.
sends us certain places that the way we live, the way we talk, the way we dress, the way we conduct ourselves. Young people,
Hmm.
you understand, persons will be drawn to Christ because
Absolutely.
they don't have the possibility. They are blinded by the enemy. You understand?
Hmm.
They're not able to see what is happening around them. So they're enjoying it, thinking they're enjoying it. But our eyes who have been open as believers, you understand, we're able to see these
Yes,
things. Hey, don't do that. Don't do this. But in
absolutely.
terms of balancing, it's a natural thing for a young man, you understand, to be
Hmm.
attracted to a young lady. You understand?
Yes.
But this is done in terms of balance. So I said standard, but I also said balance. So it's as Kim Moy would have also said, and Ronaldo would have also alluded to. Balance is also important because you have your assignments. You understand? You have various other things to focus on. You understand? You can't spend a lot of time, yes, engaged in this activity while and neglect the other. You understand? So that's
Yeah.
it.
I find it I love what you're saying because I find that so many times, and like you mentioned, like myself, Jonathan, we're two of those examples of people that went to UTech saved and left UTech
Hmm.
saved. University does not have to change you, and it's not of our own will, like we didn't
Not
have our
at all.
willpower strong enough, but it's just we committed ourselves to the Lord and asked Him to keep us, and we
And
depended on
just
Him.
to add, we were a part of the union as well, so we had access
Right.
to most, if not all, of the events on campus.
Right. But when you put your trust in the Lord to keep you, He will do it. So if you want, the old people say He'll keep you, He keeps the fresh fish in the salty sea.
Oh yes.
But yes, Kim, I would love to hear from you, and then of course Ronaldo, I'd love to hear from you. Just on any encouragement that you'd like to give to our young people. Don't just give advice to the married people now. Give something to the single people, okay? All right.
Yeah,
So Kim, you go first, and then Ronaldo.
right. So I just want to say, firstly, guard your heart. There's so much music around that will feed your mind and feed lust. So you want to be mindful of what you're listening to, right? You don't want to listen to any music that's encouraging ungodly, thoughts and emotions, because how you think affects how you feel, and how you feel impacts also your actions, right? So that's one. And two, as I said earlier, to be contented, because the reality is not everyone will marry. It's not in God's story or book for your life, in everybody's book. It's not in everyone's book to be married. And you have to be contented with just God, because guess what? if you live your whole life just looking for, Prince Charming or, your sweet missus or whatever they call it, you'll never ever be able to fulfill God's will for your life because you'll be distracted trying to find who's that person, who's the one, who's the one, who's the one. You know what I mean? And it's sending a message to God too, a very offensive language to God. You're saying that, God, okay, you're not enough to satisfy me, right? You're not enough to satisfy me. I need somebody else in order to be satisfied, in order to be whole. And you don't want to offend God in that way. So yeah, those are my few cents.
All right,
Ronaldo?
Yeah, let me just say, comparison can be both constructive and it can be destructive. You have to make sure that you are not in a destructive way comparing yourself to other persons who you may feel are ahead of you. And there's this thing where a person say, well, what may I do? What am I really do with myself? What may I do with my life? This friend married, that friend married, this friend have relationship, that friend lose them virginity, this person, that, whatever, right? And you put yourself in the box of maybe something is not right with me because everybody else is ahead. You have to know what God is trying to teach you now, where God has you right now. What is He trying to develop in you? Maybe you need more patience. Maybe you need more self-control, and you don't have it yet. The fruit of the Spirit don't bear yet, and He's trying to bring that out of you before you get into a relationship where you don't have the patience to manage it, you don't have the self-control to manage it, but you're looking on other persons, and you don't even know what God had to do in them to prepare them for where they are now. So don't compare yourself and where they are. You have a different race to run. Run it well, run it with patience. And for those persons who are not in a relationship and you are single, utilize your singleness. Paul was even encouraging, hey, I wish that you were single, right? So you can use all of
Yes.
your time for the Lord, right? Some of us, we're so caught up in relationships, especially around Valentine's Day. Thank God we have this conversation before Valentine's Day. A
Oh,
lot of
yes.
persons, they're so caught up in getting into a relationship and they don't understand that they're giving up a freedom that can be used to serve God. Like people are running down marriage sometimes and they don't understand that marriage comes with responsibility, and you're gonna have to say no to some things that if you were single you didn't have to say no to before, because you had the freedom to go about. Use your singleness and build your relationship with God. Find yourself and serve the Lord with gladness as you have the time to do so. Because when marriage comes, you're going to have children, you're going to have responsibility, and you will have to serve the other party and serve them well. So use your singleness. But for those persons who are not in a relationship, don't follow people, don't be pressured, don't follow peer pressure, follow the Lord.
Thank you very much,
Love it.
Ronaldo. And thanks as well to our panel. Big up on yourself,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
come out. Kimoy, Shamario, thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. And to you, our wonderful listeners, and our, persons who are watching on the live stream, thank you so much for being a part of Campus Connection. We don't know if we're going to have a part two.
I
We're back
feel
and forth.
like,
We're back and forth with our producer right now in the chat,
I
right?
mean,
We
Mr.
don't know. We
Producer,
don't know.
loose
But
way.
make us see.
Loose
Make us see
way.
what go on. You understand? Yeah. But
Ah.
next week we'll be talking about love for creative arts, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. And then the other week we'll continue the conversation with love for creative arts. But big up to our team. Thank you so much, Dr. Nadine Blair, Jermaine Johnson, Shania Smith, Daniel Cox, and David Sutton, Raquel Robertson, and of course, Ruth Lawrence. Thank you so much for the work that you do behind the scenes for making it Campus Connection. We are so, 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 so grateful to our amazing guests. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being a part of the show this week. That's it for our show this week. Campus Connection was brought to you by Heart NSTA Trust. Skill is power. See you next week as we explore more things. Wagwan Pan Campus. I
Bye
am Jonathan
bye.
Petter.
And I'm Ernesto. We'll see you next week.
It's
the creative Jesus guy, Darren Mitchell. Mark your calendars for a live 1 to